Hey guys, explorers, guys and girls. We're going to do a stretching routine as inspired by Arlie's yoga class yesterday. So this is a stretching routine that I do. It takes about 12 to 15 minutes. I don't have all my elements here, my equipment. Missing my foam roller. So we're just going to have to make do and probably just not do the foam rolling session. So this should take about 12 minutes, 13 minutes. And it's something I do in my night routine. Okay, I just see this is being recorded. Yes, very good. Okay. So most of the stretches we do are just 1 minute long. There's a few that are 30 seconds and a few that are 15, but the majority of what we're doing here are 1 minute stretches, holding them each. So the first one is a hip hinge stretch. All right, we'll get started. So this one the focus is, instead of on straight legs, it's on straight back. So legs can be bent if you need that. But just with a lot of these stretches, almost all of them basically, on your exhale is when you want to try to deepen the stretch. And so this helps to be checking, if your lumbar is straight. Pushing your chest out, looking up, keeping that back straight is the most important part of the stretch. It's a great lumbar stretch. We're more than halfway done. Ten more seconds. And we're done now. We're going to do a split stretch. So just find wherever you're comfortable, because really what takes us to the next level isn't how low you go, but it's now bending forward. Okay. So again, we're holding this for 1 minute. Again, checking your back, see if you really have that back straight. If you notice yourself bending, just push the chest out. I have to put my hands on my hips. 10 more set. No, actually, just under 30 seconds. Just under 30 seconds left. Just deepen on the exhale. Okay, 10 more seconds now. Okay. Next, I go into, now I'm usually doing these with a timer in front of me, and I give myself about 5 seconds in between each stretch to get to the next stretch. Makes it easier for me to keep the time down. So this is more of an explanation video. So now I'm going to do both 1 minute here, this hand grabbing this hand, and then another minute here. So I start with the side that's harder for me, which is this side. Okay. So I'm going to take my watch off to be able to time on. Good. Let's put this here. Starting 5, 4. So back here, and then as you can tell. So on this side, because my weaker side, I'll start only being able to grab 2 fingers. Used to not be able to grab any because of shoulder injury. And then I'll work my way down. Now I have 3. And now I'm grabbing all 4 fingers. Okay, we're at the halfway point. Alright, 15 more seconds, let's hold it. Let it deepen that stretch. Great. Now it's you might need to loosen up before switching to the other arm, the other side. Halfway there. Really, with this side I can deepen it much more. I can get down to my wrist, touch my wrist, but still a long way to go compared to many people. 5 more seconds. Okay. Again, you might need to loosen up those elbows. So here what we're going to do is find a surface and basically put our hands like this on the surface and try to stretch in between our shoulder blades. After 30 seconds, we just switch which hand's on top, but it's a minute-long stretch. This guy, I usually actually use my foam roller, sit it upright, and use that to put my hands on. So now I'll put the other hand on top, and this will just kind of help, isolate more one lat than the other and stretch that inside. Okay, so now I do the sort of backwards bend stretch. Now I go on my fists. Some people like to go on their hands or on their fingertips, whatever helps you. And at the end, the last 15 seconds or no, though I might do it longer for this, I get up on my toes to deepen the stretch. You'll see what I mean here soon. The nice thing about doing this in the same spot each night is, especially if you're inside, you can pick a point, a reference point, see how far back you're capable of seeing, and then that's sort of like your reference point for your progress. And then as you get more and more flexible, you should be able to look further and further back. About halfway there, I believe. Kind of lost track of time here, but it's about a minute. It's good. So the last 15, get up on those toes, you squeeze those glutes. Okay. You might have some tension here that you need to release, and if you haven't already done any mobility work that day, just a few cat camels. However many you need to sort of release that tension, especially because now we're going to do a similar movement and do a bridge, laying bridge. You'll see. So what I like to do is do a partial bridge for 30 seconds and then extend fully out for about 45 seconds. That's where I'm at now. So again, no expert. You're just seeing, how I'm trying to improve my own flexibility. So you want to get your shoulders underneath, tuck them under, and then just squeeze with the glutes, push yourself up. ready, your hands back and pushing upwards. So I'm counting this in my head. Normally I'd have a timer to look at, a little bigger my phone. 30 seconds about. So we'll lower ourselves down. One of the things you might have noticed is that I was sort of rocking. So my eventual goal is to be able to lift up my feet into a handstand from there and do handstand push-ups. So I'm trying to get used to putting more and more weight on my hands and then more weight on my feet. So that's the point of that. So now I do 2 quick little movements on each side to sort of release the tension, and then I do 2 30-second stretches. I'll show you those. So basically I'm just putting my 90 degrees, you know, putting my leg over the other and touching the shoulder down. Then I switch to the other side. Okay. So now what I do is a shoulder stretch. This is really great. This has helped me through my shoulder injury. It's great for your rotator cuff muscles. Basically, you're going to put your arm down, 90-degree angle here, and your shoulder and your elbow should be touching the ground. So here though, you got to find which series of angles are difficult, because obviously this I can touch, you know, you can get yourself to touch. The idea is to find where do you need to put yourself, you know, in order to feel some tension. And once you find where it's difficult, hold it and try to slowly touch the ground. But if you found the right spot, that means you shouldn't really be able to. Okay, halfway, we're only doing this for 30 seconds. Okay, usually I would just turn over, but so that you can see from another angle. And I'll do this arm. So again, if I'm like this, of course I can touch, nothing special. I have to find where do I put my weight in order to get a good stretch. Halfway. Okay, great. Now I'll do a minute-long stretch where I basically just get on my knees and then go backwards. Just lay in between your legs and just come here. What you want to do is try to get your glutes and even your lower back, if you're capable, flush flat against the ground. Because obviously that's a little easier than if I'm here. But obviously do what you're capable of, and I+1 style, right? Each day try to get a little bit better. All right, we're halfway done. I actually find this the most relaxing of all the stretches in the whole routine. I could stay like this for several minutes. And this is really great if you meditate. This helps you achieve the knee flexibility needed in order to get to full lotus position, half lotus position, which also improves your stability. So it's a great stretch. Okay, so now what we're going to do is a series of frog stretches. There are 4 stretches on each side. We do 15 seconds per stretch, giving ourselves about 5 seconds in between each stretch. I'll show you how that works. So here, the first stretch, basically we're going to do 15 like this, then 15 like this, then 15 going all the way down, and then 15 in the classic, almost like a warrior pose, but like that, where you're really pushing your glutes down, okay? So again, we're starting now, but yeah, really try to push around your knee, your hip joint, find where it hurts, push there. You might want to push with your heel down into the ground. That can activate the stretch deeper, as well as trying to shorten the distance. Okay? It's actually a little long. I was going to say between your ankle and your knee. So on this guy, back straight, just try to bend. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings. That's 15 seconds. Get 5 seconds to get into position. And now again, similar stretch, really pushing those glutes down. All right, 5 seconds to get to this position. And you can go up, work on your balance as well. You can grab a block, you can grab the ground, you can grab your leg, whatever you want. Alright, let's switch legs here real quick. And we're going to do the 4 on this side. Pushing this leg open. Now we come up, straighten the leg. Do another 15 seconds. So now we'll get down onto our elbows, or even your chest if you want. You can even get way down here. I actually find I can push myself better here. I can feel it harder, more there, like this, up on my elbows. Sometimes, depending on how I feel, I might do one particular stretch for a longer period of time, especially if I maybe missed a few days and one stretch feels a little harder. I will, do that stretch a little longer perhaps. But the standard is 15 seconds per stretch. Okay, so now we're going to do a butterfly stretch. Fine here. You might want to lift those glutes out of the way, find a good spot. And then this is a minute-long stretch. If you got ground to pull on, perfect. Otherwise, you can use a block or just bend forward. Once you're able to get your knees down fully on the ground like this, what you want to start doing is bending forward, okay? Keeping that lumbar as straight as possible. So that's where I need to hold on to something. It helps a lot to grab something and sort of pull into it. Because for me, this is the hardest to keep my lumbar back, the lumbar part of my back straight. So I really have to concentrate on doing that. In the past, I've used a kettlebell or a weight as well. Alright, so at this point I would usually foam roll a bit, especially if I worked out with weights that day. So if I did squats or something like that, I would focus on rolling out. I always roll out my back a little bit, but you know, not too intensely. But then might focus on foam rolling my legs, or if I had any specific goals with the stretch, I might add them in. You know, you can play around with this routine. The nice thing is, just like the joint exercise routine, once you get a good scaffolding of all these various little movements, it's quite easy to add in new movements, you know, at some point along the way. So yeah, so experiment with it, and hope you guys enjoyed this video of the ACA basic, right, stretching routine.